I might not be the sharpest knife in the block. A bit like a bread knife. Cut through difficult subject matter and always leaves plenty of crumbs on the board. Speaking about not being the sharpest knife in the block, I don't know if anyone saw yesterday's show or Thursday, the other day's show. I left the volume off again all through the show. So that was pretty exciting. Sorry, folks. Hopefully I got it right this time. As you can see, I'm actually in Canberra. If you can see out the back window, there's a few trees in the way, and behind that is the new Parliament House. That's where I'm streaming from today. And what I was going to do today, to start with, went to the you call it the proclamation of the Rock Garden today and yesterday, and I'm going to replay what was a good part of what was played yesterday. There was a couple of good speeches there. I forego the wait for the last post type thing, because 2 minutes breaks is 2 minutes break, and we all respect the fallen, but I've left the last bit, and then it'll go into the speeches. Should be about half an hour or so. Let's see how we go this time, eh? You'll find the right button. Yes, that looks like the right button. Press play, it should play.
Lest we forget.
Ooh, that's my voice, a bit loud. Big hello to John, Kathy, and Joe. Welcome along.
Good morning, Governor General! Or the person who holds that position. Not doing much for it. As the Governor General of this great nation of Australia, this letter is a direct appeal from an ever-growing cohort of Australian people, both here and at home. We call on you to action the public reveal of the unredacted findings in the police report from the Woodrow Commission, 1995 to 1997. Just a couple of years ago. The Woodrow Commission, as catalogued with the Police Integrity Commission, resulted in a 90-year suppression order containing 28 names of alleged pedophiles of prominent stature. WTF? Including judges, government officials, an ex-Prime Minister, television personalities, radio personalities, sports stars, and others. Frighteningly enough, that our Australian government has made no attempt to undo the 90-year suppression order for the supposed safety and well-being of the population is totally bloody unacceptable. We'd be safer and our well-being would be looked after if pedophiles weren't running the country. Revisited again in 2015 in the Senate Legal and Constitutional Affairs Legislation Committee meeting, the then Senator Bill Heffernan delivered the same request for the findings to be released to the public. That's us. You need to do the right thing, Governor General. You probably don't know what that is.
Give him a hint.
As the Senator stated, it's not so much the secret that's a problem, although really, who keeps secrets? People with dirty little lies to cover.
I smell like over there.
It's nice, isn't it?
So, it's when a group of people, such as the 28 alleged pedophiles on the police report, keep each other's dirty little secrets. Into his appeal, he quoted the judge of the day. We decided to not revisit that issue because the public would lose confidence in the judiciary. Well, you are right. If the public knew, they would have no confidence. Governor General! How can you justify the 90-year suppression order of the police report? Bloody police report! From the Woodrow Commission, given that the Australian taxpayers paid out roughly $64 million. We have a right to full disclosure. We don't care about the money anymore. We just want the pedophiles to face trial. Like we have to. 27 pain-filled years later, we have stood each week since August 30, 2021 at Government House in Queensland, and daily since the 7th of February 2022 here at Yarralumla, the people's home in the Australian Capital Territory. Knock, 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 knock!
Beautiful.
We are either real victims, family members of victims, or friends of victims of the appalling industry of child trafficking and pedophilia. Why do we in Australia have an industry of child trafficking and pedophilia? Once again, WTF! We the people also require the individual honoured with the position of Governor General to uphold the requirements of the office of Governor General and inquire why you, David Hurley, have not stepped in with the obvious police overreach and inhibiting the people from peacefully protesting, which is the protected rights of all Australians. It's up to the men, women and children of Australia to determine their level of confidence in the police. We find you lacking. Judiciary system full of pedophiles, and Parliament also full of pedophiles. On this matter, time for a clean-up. You're sincerely concerned men, women and children of this great country, Australia!
Yeah.
Governor General David Hurley, DH, dickhead. We have another dickhead in our midst. Oh, Donna! Give Vonnie's phone back! DH! I have lost confidence in the government! Any wonder why? Federal, state and illegal local! I instruct you to dissolve the federal
Fancy having to come after that. In the early 1990s, there was a move in Australia to deal with corruption in the police force and other places. But the government was hesitant to do anything about it because they knew once they started identifying the lower echelon corruption, that people would look higher up the chain and see that the corruption went all the way through to the top. New South Wales was one such state where they didn't want to have a Royal Commission, but there was an independent by the name of Frank Arena, and she insisted that if they wanted her to vote for their legislation, then they would put in place a Royal Commission. Under Fitzgerald in Queensland, there were some major changes made to Royal Commissions. The first was that people could be compelled to give information. You no longer had a choice what you said to a Royal Commission or whether you turned up. And the second, which is most significant, is the Royal Commission had powers to lay charges against criminals. And we know that that happened under the Fitzgerald inquiry. And so when the Royal Commission into Police Corruptions took off in New South Wales, the first thing they discovered was that there was a boy brothel in King's Cross called the Costello Brothel, and that there was trafficking of children between Sydney and the north coast of New South Wales. So what happened was that the terms of reference, which is the things the Royal Commission has license to look into, changed twice more to include anyone, regardless of what they were, that were involved with the brothel or the trafficking, could be looked at and could be dealt with by the Royal Commission. So a group of police had documents that they had gathered against 28 high-profile judges, government officials, politicians, even an ex-Prime Minister. But no court in New South Wales would deal with it. They had the documents ready to give to a prosecutor, but no court would deal with it. Why? Was the problem that bad that every judge wouldn't touch it? But it was in the terms of reference of the Wood Royal Commission, so they sent it to the Wood Royal Commission. And the QC assisting Wood, whose name was Crook, signed off on it, which means that he identified that it was a documents that were from an authoritative source and that it met the terms of reference of the Royal Commission and needed to be looked at by the Royal Commission. But the moment that Wood was facing to deal with these issues, he called a recess and did not go back to those documents. Heffernan tells us in 2015, when he asked Wood why he didn't, Wood said, "I'm going to tell you, but if you ever disclose it, I'll deny ever saying it." And Wood said, we decided not to revisit the issue because the public would lose confidence in the judiciary and the government. He didn't say and the government, he should have done. So it wasn't looked at. And when the Royal Commission was finished, the New South Wales government put a 90-year suppression order on those documents, just in case someone did some research. And with all the power that Wood had at his disposal, being in charge of that Royal Commission, in 95, 96 to 97, 3 years of it, cost us, the taxpayers, $64 million, he did not lay one charge of pedophilia. He did not lay one charge of child trafficking. The only charges that were laid were very minor issues dealing with police. What does that show you? That the government is keen to expose the corruption and deal with it? No, the government is all about hiding and making secret their dirty little secrets. And then these same police decided, well, if the New South Wales government is not going to support it, let's send it off to the Attorney General. That is the Federal Attorney General. And they did so in 2003, and his name was Ruddock. And he was prepared to look into it. And from what we understand, he gave it to his department to look into it. But someone was working for him in his department who was related to the then Prime Minister Howard. And this person obviously did something and took it to her uncle. And the next thing is these documents disappear. And we know that there's only three ways that you can suppress documents. Through a court of law, through an act of parliament, or through an act of the Governor-General. And I believe that the then Governor-General, Jeffries, suppressed those documents and suppressed the suppression order of those documents. So Hurley, you have sitting in your filing cabinet these documents. Why do I believe that? Because Hefton tells us in 2015 that every Attorney General, that is every federal Attorney General since Ruddock, has had a copy of these documents. Now, think about that for a minute. The Federal Attorney General is the highest ranking law officer in the country. The highest ranking law officer in the country has proof against 28 high-profile pedophiles and has done nothing. Every Federal Attorney General since Ruddock has had a copy of these documents, and not one of them has brought these people to court to face their accusations. So, these 28, as far as I'm concerned, are Australia's most wanted. But according to the government, they are Australia's most protected. Why are they protected? Because the Federal Attorney General, because the Governor-General put a suppression order in place, is obligated to protect these 28 from any court cases to do with pedophilia, both historical and also that it comes up now, since. So not only are they protected from the proof that the police had against them, they're protected from future events that they've been involved with. So truly, they are Australia's most protected. And then we have the Royal Commission into the institutional rape of children. And they heard from tens of thousands of victims. And Bill Hefton was ordered to produce the documents, which were the same documents that had been suppressed twice, to this Royal Commission under an order to produce. And he did. However, because mostly they seem to involve the law, and the law is not considered an institution, they could not be accepted by the Royal Commission. And Hefton tells us they were hand-delivered back to him. So he goes to the committee that deals with the law And he has a speech there, and his aim is to get this committee to declare the legal fraternity as an institution. Why? Then the Royal Commission can deal with it. But they were too busy counting money, estimates. And so we have this wonderful speech in 2015 of Hefton, which gives us so much information. I wish to God, under his ability to say what he wanted in Parliament, under Parliament's privilege, he read those names, but he didn't. And so the government was faced with a problem. 2018, they have the report from the Royal Commission in the institutional treatment of children. In other words, how many children have been raped while they were in institutions. So what did they do? The government decided to deal with the problem by setting up a national redress scheme that would run from 2018 through until 2028. This was a scheme that if you were raped as a child in one of these institutions, you could go to a group and they would take your story, and if they accepted it and the institution accepted it, you would be paid off and you could no longer speak about your experience. You could no longer expect any legal recourse. So what happens? Well, as of the 14th of July this year, there have been in excess of 28,000 applicants. Of this, 12,886 have been finalised. There have been 12,145 payments, which is more than $1 billion been paid out. 987 have withdrawn their application, and 14,468 are on hand waiting to be finalised. And 0 of the rapists have faced court because of this scheme. What a ridiculous thing, as a response to children being raped in institutions, that we give them money to shut them up and none of the perpetrators face court for their crimes. And in these institutions, most of these perpetrators did not just rape one child, they raped multiple children. So this is the government's response. What are they doing? Making it secret. If you're high enough up the ladder, you can get away with pedophilia because the government will protect you. That's what it tells me. And so they still had a problem with Royal Commissions, because stuff would come out in Royal Commissions and people could report on it. So what they did in 2018 to make sure they covered everything was they changed the law to do with Royal Commissions so that anything that was spoken about in closed session, that's a session without the public, is automatically suppressed for 99 years.
That's disgusting.
So what do we have? A government that systematically has protected high-profile pedophiles. And it's been going on for longer than I'm alive. And they believe that they've got away with it. But we are standing here every day before the Governor-General, because in our society, in our structure of government, he or she is supposed to have the final authority. expose the 28 and expose every other sick individual that has been involved in child rape and child trafficking. And we have been here more than 500 days every day, and we are going to be here until the government realises the Australian people will not take it any longer. The cone of silence is shattered. One last thing. A lot of Australians don't realise, but there was a petition to expose the 28, signed by hundreds of thousands of voters, that was presented to the Parliament in November of 2021. And the government dealt with it. You know how they dealt with it? Instead of looking into the Wood Royal Commission, which is where the documents were, they looked into the Royal Commission, the Institutional Treatment of Children, where they didn't have them because they sent them back to Hefner, because they could not accept them under their terms of reference. So the Federal Attorney General got up in Parliament, presented the petition to the Parliament, and then said, I have searched through all the documents and these documents do not exist. And the Parliament said, oh, we're not sure why the people wanted them then. And they went on with their business. The secret is out. And if you're an AFP officer, or if you're an ASIO officer, or if you are some officer that has included in your job description dealing with corruption, dealing with treason, then you need to look into this cone of silence that the government has perpetuated through all the avenues, from the courts, through to the Governor-General, through to the governors, through to the Parliament. And before I go, I have yet to hear your voice, Hurley, on the most serious accusations against you personally that were made last year on Anzac Day in front of your house. Your silence is deafening on the matter, and it's unacceptable in our society to be accused of these terrible crimes and say nothing. So I'm going to ask you the question yet again. David Hurley, are you a child rapist and a child trafficker as accused by that young man on the front lawn last year on Anzac Day? Adrian John Wells. It's a simple question, and the only response you need to make is to open your mouth and say something about it. Your silence smells of complicit. It smells of something that we do not want in our society. And you need to be doing your job and exposing this 28. Don't say you don't have a copy of it. You could get a copy from the Governor of New South Wales. They have one in their filing cabinet, unredacted, with the documents that are required. And you have it in your filing cabinet with footnotes from Jeffries that you can release to a court of law, so that these 28 most protected become 28 common people facing courts for their crimes.
Folks, share that, will you please? That's one of them. If that didn't move you, you're not human. Please. After you. Ah.
We send our love and best wishes to Ren as well. Get better, Ren. We love you and we're looking forward to seeing you.
have a speech, I can snap it.
Not today. Maybe not in a few days. What a piece of music, folks. What a piece of music.
here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a jab, never wore a mask. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided the camps, done all they can. 2 kicks out of Canberra, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They've broken the roads, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up, but I'm out on bail and I'm still here. They try so hard, we try not laugh. They tow my car, the next day's back in the same car park. These cops ain't smart, I'ma make a drop this charge. Son, you watch, we take it back to the start. No D's, no titles, no trespass. Now we charge you, tables are turned. We come with a proof for all the assaults, all the abuse. Nobody gonna cut you loose, knock knock. Yeah, who at the door? Makadar, bring on the storm. Library to empty, thought we were gone. Regroup and come back to the front lawn. Yeah, we're still here, still ain't got no fear. We will cry, still ain't shed no tear. The sense of we still here. Is that all you got? We take on you mob, we unite. You don't call the shot, sovereign's been here all along. And they're still here, yeah, they're still here. Return of the sovereign, but they never left. They're still here, yeah, they're still here. Yeah, they're still here, the oldest civilization. It's been how many years? We're still here. Need your support for the new way these warriors fought. Our worry for the law and in June income war accords. Gotta cut out the cancer, yeah, that's what the plans are. Walk with the elders, they got the law, we got the numbers, that is the answer. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. Never got the jab, never wore a mask. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided the camps, done all the camps. 2 keepers out of Canberra, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They've broken the roads, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up with a man on bail and I'm still here. They see us come, we see them run. Now we are one, free our daughters, free our sons. Yeah, they're getting scared. Front line, the bed, I'm there. Even when we're gone, our spirit lives on. Yeah, we ain't going anywhere. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a jab, never wore a mask. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided the camps, done all the camps. 2 kicks out of Canberra, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They've broken the roads, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up, but I'm out on bail and I'm still here.
Every day, folks. Every day they do this. Only a few today. Some days there's hundreds. Why don't you come along too? Every Thursday, or every day. Every day, 10 a.m. Tomorrow it's going to be 8 a.m. because we've got some brothers going to court. So please, share this around. Talk about it. Talk to people about it because this is very important. How are your children? Are they in institutions? If they are, God help them. Anyway, that's enough passion one day. I'll upload this to my channel later. But for all my friends on Facebook watching, thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, how's that, folks? That's pretty typical of what's happening in Australia and the rest of the world. It's not just here, folks. Anyway, welcome to Wanji Bowling Club, ladies and gentlemen, and we've got a bit of feedback. Sorry about that. There was a Facebook trying to butt in with me, one of my last videos. Anyway, as I was saying, well, might have noticed I've opened the back door. You might be able to see Parliament House in the background. If not, doesn't matter. But the links to my Facebook page and Freedom Front Canberra, who are the other guys in that video, that's their sites. Please look up the Freedom Front Canberra, look into those videos, and share the message. Because mate, unspeakable, horrible things are happening to children all over the world, not just Australia. Like your mate DK, he's listening at the moment on YouTube. Hey DK, it's horrible. It's got to stop. So anyway, I'm just about out of battery, so I'm going to cut the show short. I plan on doing a couple of interviews maybe the next day or so, and I'll do another show in the next day or so. We'll see what happens, because you know what me, I don't really plan things. And oh look, the microphone's turned on, so you can probably hear me, which is a change. All those that struggled through yesterday's show, I'm terribly sorry. But, you know, it is what it is. As I say, I'm not the sharpest knife in the block. I'm a bit like a bread knife. I cut through difficult subject matter, and I always leave crumbs on the board. Well, I think that's enough for today, which is the 8th day of the 8th month, 2023. Everyone, please be good to each other. And if you see something that's not right, do something about it. Talk to someone. Because the world ain't right. And only we can make it better. Cheers. Be good to each other. You know, like